Which is basically, so as a home energy auditor, I'm basically a detective for your home. That's what I like to tell people. I come in and I solve all of your mysteries, like why there's a draft in the upstairs room or why your feet are always cold under your desk in the basement. And I tell you ways that you can solve those things, which also helps you save time, save energy, save money, and give you an overall better quality of life. So the problem that we're looking at right now is when we look at the energy landscape of the United States, we see a lot of problems that we're having. We're using a lot of energy and the cost of energy is going up. So right now, in the US average, according to the US Department of Energy, a monthly household uses 911 kilowatt hours every month. And kilowatt hour is just a unit of measurement for energy usage in a home. The average of East, South, Central states, which is Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, is 1248 kilowatt hours each month, and Kentucky is all the way up at 1777. So as you can see, we have a lot of potential in Kentucky, and we could just overall really improve our state and maybe eventually be under the average or lead in energy. I have high hopes for Kentucky and energy one day. And also just part of the problem is by ignoring these issues in your home, you're wasting energy, you're wasting money, you're not taking advantage of the quality of life you could have, or even increasing your home or property value, especially if you're looking to sell. So what my company does is it solves all these problems for you. It helps you save the world by saving energy and bettering your community. And part of what that is 10% of the fee that you're going to pay is going to go directly to a nonprofit that also has similar goals of bettering the community by even just increasing awareness for energy efficiency and things of that nature. So what is a home energy audit? I briefly talked about, I like to tell people I'm a detective for your home. But what it involves is me coming to your house with a lot of data equipment, or data collection equipment and technology. I can gather a lot of different information. In this picture, this is a gas leak detection meter. So if you use gas in your home, I would come around and I would take a meter like this and I would go through all of your piping to be sure you're not leaking gas, which is not only inefficient but also unsafe. So that is a good thing to know about. But what I want to focus on today is this blower door testing, because I have just invested in a blower door. And what is a blower door? So basically it's a giant programmable fan that I can put in your doorway, and I can blow air out of your house, which causes air to leak in any openings that you might have. So by using that in conjunction, you can kind of see these small thermal images coming from different leak points in your home. So by using a thermal image camera in conjunction with this, I can actually pinpoint exactly where your leaks are, tell you the size that they are, tell you how much energy and how much money you're wasting because of that hole in your door. So right now, my strategy for the market is targeting two different sides. I have kind of the contractors and builders that I'm looking at, and I also have homeowners, because right now I know that this isn't something that's like very common in our market right now, so I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket with the homeowners right away. But I have a lot of builders and real estate agents that have reached out to me saying that they've had a lot of people request someone with my type of skill set to do these different tests. And that's been really important for networking as well. And I would hope at some point, as part of what I provide to homeowners, is I could do workshops and education and things of that nature. So who I am, I'm the team right now. I'm Rachel, hence the name. I graduated the University of Kentucky last May. I'm a biosystems engineer. I did work in the manufacturing companies, energy auditing them, and I'm also a certified BPI analyst, which is Building Performance Inspector. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely evening.
So Rachel, congratulations on doing this. This is
Thank you.
Something that we appreciate you can. repeat system as well.
Oh, I was involved in that. I worked for the KIAC, Kentucky Industrial Assessment Center. That's right, yeah.
So how much follow-up are you, I mean, $350, and one of the reasons that that number is so high is
Right.
energy is cheap in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's 6 cents plus a kilowatt hour.
Well,
Other
for
reason
residential,
is-
it's almost 10 in some areas.
Well, the other reason is the housing is pretty shoddy
Right.
in those similar areas, and there are a lot of leaks. So what sort of follow-up, let's say I have a mobile home somewhere, and it's just gonna leak like a sieve when you put your blower door on it. What sort of follow-up are you gonna, because $350 to me
I
is
do
gonna be a lot of
complete
money.
diagnostic report.
Yeah,
Have you
see
heard
what
of
I'm
the
saying?
CAPE system?
How are you
Or-
gonna help me to solve my problem other than the diagnostics?
Okay, so the ending of the report includes a list of recommendations based on our hour of looking at the home, and not only that, but I haven't got to this step yet, but part of my plan was to create a really solid network of contractors so that I could then say, okay, like here are your top 3 priorities. I think you should work on these 3 things first, and I'd give them everything they should work on, but normally the top 3 is like your biggest savings. And so that if they were interested, I could even line up some contractors and schedule that for them.
And that's included in the.
Yes. Yes.
So that was one of my key questions. How are you going to acquire customers? Are you going to have to sell each one? Are you going to get referrals? Are you going to try to sell up and like get an owner of rentals or maybe apartment complexes or something like that? How are you going to win the big customers?
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas on that, and the people that have reached out to me so far have been. I have one designer of homes who reached out to me. She said she gets a lot of her customers are very interested in this, and I've had a real estate agent reach out to me and say that this. So I'm gonna probably begin with doing more, I guess you call it wholesale kind of activity, and see where it takes me. Yeah.
2 questions. The first one, have you thought about, and do you think it's viable to work through builders and try to convince them to offer it as a value add that then the person buying the home can have done and then kind of build it into their mortgage, which is always kind of a nice win-win when people are thinking about spending extra money. Sometimes when they're like, oh, I can build in my mortgage, they almost feel like it's free. Have you thought about that, considered that, or taken any steps towards something like that, where then you're pursuing just a single builder who represents thousands of customers?
Right, I definitely would like to partner with people like that. I think that's going to be a really great tool for me. I think that's how I'm going to get started in a lot of ways, like we were saying with contractors and whatnot. I think that I'm still a little early on the only thing that I've done, I called KU, and I'll probably make an appearance at one point and just to talk to them about what they think our energy future is and how I might be able to help them. And so that's as far as I've taken that, I think.
I lied, I have 3 questions. New question. Have you talked to anyone in government? Because a lot of times government will do things to encourage people to work towards efficiency and the potential of people getting a tax break if they do an energy audit on their house or anything like that.
Yeah, okay, so I've talked to a lot of different people. I'm also, I don't know if you all are familiar with Kentuckians for the Commonwealth, KFTC. They do a lot, they have Empower Kentucky, which is basically a movement to educate our citizens about the energy landscape in Kentucky. So I've done a lot of work there, and there are a lot of people in government involved in that. Like I know Senator Reggie Thomas was at their most recent event. And I've done work with it's the Kentucky Student Environmental Coalition that goes to the Capitol and talks with different representatives and things like that. So I've done work like that. What was the other part of your question?
I didn't ask the 3rd question yet. So
Okay.
You're good. Yeah, and the last question was, on the consumer level, have you ever thought about, whenever there's businesses that say, oh, hire us and it'll cost X, but you're going to save 3X over time. Mm-hmm. I always wonder why they don't build their price in some way against that savings. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you're going to save me all this money, then maybe I shouldn't pay you until after I've saved the money.
Right.
Have you ever thought of a pricing system where it's like, hey, I'll pay you this, and if you don't save it, we'll refund your fee, or, so assuming you do the recommendations, of course.
Right.
Have you ever considered anything like that for your, like, on the pure kind of retail level of your customers?
Yeah, I think so like 2 thoughts on that. The first is I'd have to determine, like I'm gonna need a lot of feedback from people, like who's going to use these contractors? Are they gonna do all of the things I recommend they do? Are they gonna do the top 3? And if they did decide to do those things and improve their home, I guess I'd have to find out the way to like finagle that data and really get that information clearly. But there are a lot of, there's actually a nonprofit that that have friends at right now, and they do finance homes for people in eastern Kentucky and in rural areas. And so what they end up doing is they are actually a cooperative with energy companies. And so like people come calling that their bills are high and they send them over to this nonprofit and these people come out. And so I don't have enough money to upfront finance and have people pay me out of their savings, but that's definitely a model that people have done and is effective in some way, so.
Or you could try, a refund if it doesn't work,
Yeah, that's
as a
true.
guarantee.
Yeah, so you said a guarantee would probably be a good idea for me. That's a good point.
One last comment, Rachel.
Yeah.
Gates, blower doors, no.
That's true. That's a good point. It's okay. I won't wear this on the job, I promise. I won't like show up